So we're delighted to inform that the Department of Management Studies, Mangalam College of Engineering, is the fastest growing center for higher learning in Kerala state under the management of Mangalam Educational Society, promoted by one of the leading media in Kerala, the Mangalam Publications. The college started functioning in 2002 with the approval of AICTE and currently affiliated to APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University. The following educational institutions are functioning on the campus: Mangalam College of Engineering with BTech, MTech, and PhD programs, Mangalam Polytechnic College, MC Varghese College of Arts and Science, Mangalam School of Architecture and Planning, Mangalam Management Studies, Mangalam College of Education, Mangalam CBSE Residential School, Mangalam English Medium Higher Secondary School, Butterflies Eurokids Preschool, and we also have two leading medias, Radio Mangalam and Media Mangalam. That's not the end. Talking about Mangalam Management Studies, it's one of the prominent management institutes in Central Kerala for imparting management education. The inception of this program can be traced back to the early 2005, and we are so proud to declare that we have completed 16 batches. And right from the beginning, the college achieved excellency in university results, including university ranks as well as in placement activities. Most of our students are placed in reputed multinational companies. To give more exposure to our students, Mangalam Management Studies has designed the following activities: soft skills training, EET and SDT, state and national level industrial visits, industry and academia interactions, international webinars, All India Management Fest, free certification courses, along with internships in reputed firms, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now have a presentation about Mangalam institutions and campus. For that, I would like to invite on stage Dr. Prima Ann George, Associate Professor of Mangalam Management Studies.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. Productivity is never an accident. It's always a result of commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused effort. Quote unquote, Paul J. Mayer. Be with me for the next few minutes when I take you through the success story of a group that has gained, thrived, flourished, and progressed from its inception and still going on steadily, augmenting further milestones into its timeline. Myself, Dr. Prima Ann George, Associate Professor to Mangalam Management Studies, am here to present a reflection on Mangalam Group of Institutions. The Mangalam Group of Institutions, our guiding light, Mangalam Group has envisaged by the great visionary, late Sri MC Varghese. It is the outcome of his successful beginning that has brought us today under a roof for the commencement ceremony of the 16th batch of MBA students. The group took with Mangalam Publication India Private Limited in the year 1969 as the lead-off, and the rest is history. The Mangalam Group of Institutions comprise of Mangalam Media, Mangalam Education, Mangalam Hospitals, and others which include Mangalam Foundation, Mangalam Homes and Resorts. Now moving on to the Mangalam Group of Educational Institutions. The Mangalam Group of Education Institution is chaired by Dr. Engineer Biju Varghese under his able leadership. Then we have educational institutions under Mangalam Group, Mangalam College of Engineering, Mangalam Management Studies, MC Varghese College of Arts and Science, Mangalam School of Architecture and Planning, Mangalam College of Education, Mangalam Polytechnic College, Mangalam CBSE Residential School, Mangalam Higher Secondary School, Mangalam Butterflies Eurokids. And the highlights we provide for our education is, our education is from the elementary level to post-graduation, extending to research, fully automated state-of-the-art infrastructure facilities, centralized campus, 45 acres of campus loaded with scenic beauty, academic excellence for the past 38 years. Now, moving on to Mangalam Management Studies. This is ISO 9000 certified, NAC accredited, approved by the All India Council of Technical Education and affiliated to the APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University. The membership in our professional bodies we hold are Kerala Management Association, Travancore Management Association, National Institute of Personnel Management. And the infrastructure facilities we provide for the students are placement cell, wide transportation network, state-of-the-art campus, solar-powered campus, department library, central kitchen, national basketball stadium, digital theater, classes aided digitally, 100 Mbps lease line, 24-hour internet connectivity, amphitheater, mobile towers exclusively for the campus, snack bar, health club, food court, medical unit, students counseling cell, video conferencing facilities, campus tele network, campus choir, grievance cells, to name a few. The specialization we offer for the students in management include financial management, general management, human resource management, marketing management, operations management, and systems management. Our curriculum emphasizes on academic excellence. We provide finishing school and soft skill training, internship and social projects, management meets and competition, industrial visits, certifications and add-on courses, seminars, webinars and volunteering, campus visits and mentoring. Now meet our team. Our Dean, Professor Dr. John T. Varghese, who remains the source of inspiration for the department and the whole of the institution. Professor and Head of the Department, Dr. Sibu C. Chitran, and we have Professor Dr. Arvind Raut and Dr. C.B. James, and as Associate Professors, Mr. Bolstorm, Ms. Tinda Baby, Ms. Reshma Ravindranath, Ms. Demi Demasi, and myself, Dr. Prima Ann George, and as Assistant Professors, Ms. Rinda George, Mr. Jidin John, Ms. Needu Kunjaria, Ms. Fia James, Mr. Jeffy James, Ms. Srilakshmi P.S., and Ms. Srilakshmi Srikumar. Our admission status, when we started with 60, and now we stand in 180. The workshop and extracurricular programs we provide: industry interaction with CII, interaction with Sri S. Gopalakrishnan Infosys, soft skill training, simulation games, management fest, Rotaract Club in association with Rotary International. Then we have cultural fest, environmental visits, international certification through edX courses, Lean Six Sigma certification courses, certified in NPTEL courses, leadership summit, FDP on management education in India, interactive session at IIMB, learning from IIMK, capital market assessment at BSc Mumbai. Our newsletter is MMS Beat, Freshers Induction Program and Alumni Association. Our rank holders: Ms. Geeta N. Ravi, Ms. Merin Annie, Ms. Purnima V, Ms. Dhanya, and Ms. Reshma Elizabeth. The awards we provide for the students include Best Outgoing Student, Academic Excellence Award. And the campus placement, we have a thorough increase in each year after year, and our recruiters include Infosys, Reliance Money, United India Insurance, Woodland, and it's only a few which I could name. This is what, in the beginning, I was telling about a group augmenting further milestones in its timeline, and it goes on and on, with a team that make Mangalam Management Studies unique, with a committed dean, a dedicated staff, and the trust you parents and students have with us. Thank you all for the kind attention given, And I wish you all a wonderful, fascinating evening, and that could cherish all throughout your life. Thank you once again.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, before we move on to the official function, I would like to request all the dignitaries and the distinguished guests to please take their respective seats on the dais. Why don't you all put your hands together for our dearest guests. All right. Everything now being finally placed, it's time to invoke the Almighty for His blessings. Let's begin today with the praise of the most merciful, the most benevolent. Let me call upon Ms. Krishnendu E.S., student of Mangalam College of Education, to lead us in prayer. And I do request everyone to please rise.
Mangalani sarva jagatam vardhyantu satatam. Mangalani sarva jagatam vardhyantu satatam. Mangalani sarva jagatam vardhyantu satatam. रोगजनना विषानवहना शन्तु शीघ्रम् रोगजना विषानवहना शन्तु शीघ्रम् कृषि व्यापार समृद्ध्ययत पुष्यन्तु शुभदम् कृषि व्यापार समृद्ध्ययत पुष्यन्तु शुभदम् सर्वे जनाः पश्यन्तु शान्ति सर्वे जनाः पश्यन्तु शान्ति पाहि पाहि सर्वलोका जनान् सकलभयात् देहि देहि देव देव सम्पदं ते प्रसाद रक्ष रक्ष वृक्ष पुष्प पशु पक्षि विभव जयतु जयतु जीवलोको जय सन्तु सदा जयतु जयतु जीवलोको जय सन्तु सदा.
You may please take your seats. Next on stage, we have a well-renowned and incredibly talented individual, the one who provided us with such an ambitious place to pursue our goals, the one who strives every single day to make our experience here wholesome. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Biju Varghese, Chairman of Mangalam Educational Institutions, Managing Editor of Mangalam Daily, and the Director of Mangalam Publications, India Private Limited. I invite you, sir, for the welcome speech.
Distinguished Chief Guest, Sri Shibulal, respected Dean, members of the teaching faculty, guests and our dear students, every warm greetings to one and all. Today is one of the happiest days for our institutions. We are blessed with the esteemed presence of Sri Shibulal. Years before, we were fortunate to have the presence of Sri Chris Gopalakrishnan, also from Infosys. At this moment, it would be a treacherous on my part if I don't mention the name of the founder of this institution, let's say Mr. M.C. Varghese. Sri Shibulal, I'm sure Sri M.C. Varghese would have appreciated and enjoyed your presence more than any one of us. I would request everyone to observe a moment of silence by standing for the one who is responsible for what we are today. Thank you. Whenever we think of IT revolution in India, the first name that comes to our mind is that of Infosys. Indeed, the name Infosys has become synonymous with IT in our industry. And whenever we think of Infosys, the first three names that immediately strike our mind are that of Sri N.R. Narayanamurthy, Sri Chris Gopalakrishnan, and that of S.T. Shibulal. As I mentioned earlier, Sri Chris Gopalakrishnan had visited our campus way back in 2007. Shibu sir has consented to visit our campus during the following years, but however, he had some business assignments at the time of our scheduled function. Somehow or other, it had taken so many years for us to be blessed with his presence now. Sri Shibulal is a person from our nearby Alapi district, to be precise, from Muhammad. He is one of the co-founder of the IT giant Infosys. He is a postgraduate in physics from Kerala University. Indeed, Kerala University ought to be proud of this former student. He also has a master's degree in computer science from Boston University. He is not only a software expert, but also a gadget-addicted technocrat, if I am not wrong. He needs no further introduction, since my words would be too insufficient to talk about this IT authority, whom all of us are too proud of. Sri Shibulal, I use this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to you and hope your esteemed presence would inspire the young people assembled here and would pave the path for many more persons like you in the years to come. Being the corporate social responsibility of Mangalam, we started our mission to educate the illiterate and elevate the younger generation to the heights of science and technology. This function is presided over by our Dean, Dr. John T. Verghese, who is the dynamic person behind the entire arrangement, planning, and running of the department. I always remember him as a dedicated academician of practical wisdom, especially in guiding, mentoring, and monitoring our students and his team. On behalf of the gathering and the management, I am pleased to welcome you to this ceremony, sir. At the outset, let me take this opportunity to appreciate and congratulate our management team headed by Mr. Prakash Thomas Matthew and Dr. Abraham Chettiseri and the entire MBA department to find out this beautiful place as the venue of this program. Hearty welcome to all the beloved teachers of Mangalam Management Studies. Now it is to welcome our dear students and our parents. We always remember the great efforts, commitment, and contributions made by each one of you for the smooth functioning of the institution. I'm sure that all the times and setbacks you and your fellow students shared together have given you a remarkable bond and made your path unique. And you, your family and your friends, and all of us should be proud of your achievements. Your survey qualifications tells us the world that you are ambitious, passionate, and tenacious. These are excellent qualities, equipping you to make a difference to changing lives and shaping society for a better world. On these occasions, let me thank all of the students and parents for your support and cooperation throughout the academic program. We wholeheartedly welcome our students and dear parents to this ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. May I now take the pleasure of inviting Dr. Sibu C. Chitran, Professor and Head of Department, Mangalam Management Studies, to formally invite Sri S.T. Shibulal to declare the commencement ceremony of the 16th batch of MBA open.
Ladies and gentlemen, respected chairman, honorable chief guest, revered faculty members, and all the treasured invitees, greetings to all. May I take this opportunity to invite our honorable chief guest, Sri S.D. Shibulal, to declare the commencement ceremony of 16th batch MBA open. Welcome, sir.
I hereby declare the commencement ceremony of the 16th batch of MBA of Mangalam Management Studies opened.
Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to call upon the Dean of Mangalam Management Studies. Sir, you hardly need any introduction. You have made all of us proud with your distinguished work in numerous capacities. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Professor Dr. John T. Vargas for the presidential address.
Our honorable guest of the day, Sri S.D. Shibulal, co-founder Infosys Limited and co-founder Axeler Venture Private Limited, our chairman, Dr. Biju Varghese, and other dignitaries on and of the dais, special invitees of our campus, dear parents, beloved students, and my dear colleagues. Today we all are assembled here in this prestigious venue to witness a very graceful commencement ceremony of our S4 MBA 2022 batch. The name itself elicits the commencement of a new life after completing the academic work. In this blessed occasion, I am indeed very happy to give a brief idea about Mangalam Management Studies, from where they have completed their academic activities successfully. About MMS. Mangalam Management Studies is one of the prominent management institutes in Central Travancore for imparting knowledge in management education. We started the MBA program in the year 2005 and successfully completed 16 batches. 17th and 18th batches are in the campus now. From the first batch onwards, the college has achieved excellence in university result and placement activities. Most of our students are well placed in reputed MNC, FMCG, consumer durables, and banking sector. Admission status of MMS. The intake of the institution was 90 up to the year 2019. It was increased to 120 in the year 2020, and it further increased to 180 in the year 2021. I am extremely happy to state that we are capable to fill our intake successfully because of the great acceptance of this institution by the students, community, and their parents. Elective subjects. Mangalam Management Studies is affiliated under APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University. As per the guidelines of the university, students are permitted to take any of the following electives in their second year. They are financial management, marketing management, human resources management, information system, operations management, and general management. Results. MMS is capable to achieve commendable results in university exam. Our faculty team includes highly talented, efficient, and experienced members. They are really the reason for excellent results we have achieved so far. Placement wing. Mangalam Management Studies has a well-structured placement cell. It is supervised by Mr. Jithin John, the assistant professor of the department. He is working in association with the placement cell of Mangalam College. Mangalam Management Studies, jointly with Mangalam College of Engineering, is arranging campus placement drive as well as placement drive jointly organized with support of other management institutions. We, the Mangalam Management Studies, doing our level best to transform the career dreams of our students into reality. Training. MMS is following two-tier system for providing training facilities to the students. We have created an internal team consists of 5 trained faculty members who are experienced in this area. First year they are arranging EET, that is edge to eminence, that is to bring them from edge to the level of eminence to achieve excellence in their life. Second year we are providing SDT, that is skill development program, in order to equip them with extra skill to face group discussion, interviews in connection with the placement. In the second phase of training, we are inviting a professional group to give extra exposure to the students. The institution which is supporting us in this regard is Talentus HR Solutions, one of the prominent training team in Kerala. They are giving 5 days exclusive training for our students in each semester. The beginning of the 4th semester, we are giving them placement training also in order to support them to perform well in the placement activities. Awards. Students who are securing highest percentage mark in the university exam are honored with the Mangalam Fellow of Academic Excellence. And students who are showcasing their extraordinary performance will be honored with Best Outgoing Students Award. The teachers who are securing 100% result in the assigned subject are honored with the Excellent Guru Award. All our faculty members have achieved this award because of their strenuous effort in transacting the curriculum. Management Fest. Mangalam Management Studies is using 50% of their effort in academic activities, the remaining 50% for co-curricular and extracurricular activities. As a part of our extracurricular activities, 2 Management Fest, namely Mangalotsav and Mahasangram, are conducted on yearly basis. Mangalotsav is a one-day management fest organized mainly for the degree students. Different types of competitions are arranged in this fest. Winners are awarded with cash prizes and attractive mementos. Mahasangram is a 2-day management fest arranged mainly for young managers all over Kerala. The attractions of this program include best manager competition, cultural nights, etc. We are also conducting short-term and long-term industrial visit for supporting the students to learn industrial culture and situation. The students are getting opportunities to interact with the top officials of the organization, thus they are able to get experiential learning. Club activities. Our club activities mainly consist of the following. Number 1, Road Club of Royal Mangalam and Engon Club. Road Club of Royal Mangalam is constituted with the support of Rotary Club of Kottayam East. Our students are actively participating in the activities organized by Rotary Club. Rotary Club of Royal Mangalam is the students' club having the highest number all over the world. Engon Club is formed to create a mindset to the students to conserve our planet. As a part of this club activities, we are conducting Green and Clean Campus program, training to the students how to conserve energy, water, etc. Most of our students are very much happy to be a part of the club activities. CSR activities. Management institutions are meaningless unless they are extending their service to its corporate social responsibilities. Our students are very much happy to do donation to needy people, financial support to the child welfare unit by giving their contribution. The students are pretty happy to contribute to support the inmates of Snehalayam, Abhay Bhavan, etc. Word of gratitude. I take this opportunity to extend my gratitude to the management consists of our dear chairman, legal advisor, chief operating officer and other officials for their relentless support in executing the plan of actions of Mangalam Management Studies. Our faculty team is very much committed, talented and enthusiastic in implementing the decision successfully. They all are really deserve special appreciation for their extraordinary effort. Our students and parents. Our S4 students who have successfully completed a MBA program. This ceremony is organized for honoring them. We are really proud of you for your support to bring this institution as a prominent management institute. Our S3 students and S1 students are in the campus. At present, they are also doing their level best to support us. Dear parents, you all are really the backbone of our institution. Your testimony at the time of PTA meeting will be a driving force to perform well in our all activities. Thank you all for your support and care. Let me conclude. Dear S4 MBA students, today you all are completing the period of your professional study. You are really fortunate to get a chance to collect your course certificate from a very renowned and highly successful professional in the field of industrial sector, Sri S.D. Shibulal, co-founder and former CEO of Infosys. This will definitely uplift your image and hope. Myself, the Dean of Management Studies, on behalf of all my colleagues, wish you the very best for your future endeavors. Be an ideal citizen and also a role model in all your words and deeds, and also be an ambassador to propagate the fame of this institution to the coming generations. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. It's with great honor and privilege I would like to introduce you to our honorable chief guest of the day, Sri Shibulal. He's the co-founder and former member of the board of CEO of Infosys. Prior to becoming the CEO and managing director, Sri Shibulal served as the chief operating officer from 2007 to 2011. Earlier, he held a number of senior leadership roles, including head of worldwide sales and customer delivery from 1991 to 96. He had also worked with Sun Microsystems in the US, where he led the team which designed and implemented Sun's first e-commerce application. Sri Shibulal retired from the Infosys on 31st of July 2014. And beyond Infosys, in 2014, he co-founded Accelor Ventures, a new generation platform to improve the odds of success of entrepreneurs, with 3 distinct programs: Accelerator, Scale Up, and Early Stage Funding. Accelor provides infrastructure, mentoring, and capital for high-impact, India-focused startups in the areas of e-commerce, healthcare, and clean tech. Driven by his passion for education and developing the leaders managing the K-12 government schools across India, Sri Shibulal incorporated Shiksha Logam, an educational leadership development platform, in 2016. Now active in multiple states, Shiksha Logam offers open source technology capabilities and learning and management resources to more than 3 lakh leaders in partnership with state governments and leading civil society organizations. His professional affiliations are as follows. He's a trustee of the Infosys Science Foundation, a not-for-profit trust set up by the Infosys. He's a member of the Board of Trustees of Boston University, chairman of High Power Digital Advisory Committee of Kerala, chairman of the Tamara Education, and Sri Shibulal holds a master's degree in computer science from Boston University and a master's degree in physics from the University of Kerala. So we're so delighted to have you with us today, sir. And we'll now be having our traditional auspicious lamp lighting ceremony. And for that, I would like to welcome our honorable chief guest, Sri Shibulal. And he'll be delivering the inaugural address as well.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to be here. Let me thank Dr. Biju Vakis and the management of Mangalam Management Studies for inviting me for this convocation ceremony. Let me also congratulate all of you who are graduating today. Today, you have laid the foundation on which you will build a bright future and contribute to the society. Today also gives you an opportunity for all of you to thank the people who supported you on this journey, your parents, siblings, teachers, friends, and well-wishers. I also want to congratulate Dr. Sibu S. Chitran and the entire staff of MMS for their contribution to your life. So I remember going to my daughter's graduation. That was about 14, 15, probably about 13 years back. They had a great speaker. And he started out by telling the audience the rules of public speaking. So he said, there are 4 rules to public speaking: stand up, speak up, shut up, and sit down. So today morning, when I was leaving my house to come here, my daughter was there, and I happened to mention this to her, that I remember your graduation and your public speaker. So she said, Papa, remember, there are new rules to public speaking. So I said, what is it? She said, be very brief. Papa, be very brief. So 5 words, be brief, Papa, be brief. So I will try and be very brief. When I thought about coming here and try to figure out what I should talk about, 3 things came to my mind. When I look back at my life, of course, you heard that I graduated from Kerala University in 1977. The first thing which came to my mind was about taking risk, saying yes to opportunities. Second one was about being disciplined, being focused and being committed. And the last one was about learning. So let me start with taking risk. It is said that nothing ventured, nothing gained. The willingness to experiment with new ideas is key to personal and business growth. Research on risk-taking has revealed that there is a clear link between willingness to take risk and personal satisfaction. As many of you know, Infosys was set up by 7 professionals, which was unheard of in 1981, with nothing more than a capital of US $250. So in 1981, the exchange would have been about 50 rupees maybe. So you're talking about 10,000 bucks. We had with us nothing more than a concrete vision to create a respected company and a willingness to take a leap of faith. When we started Infosys in 1981, we had no money, no political clout. The economic and political scenario in India was vastly different. Entrepreneurship was a new concept, considered risky and not easily accepted. We took the risk, we took a leap of faith. We took the risk of assuming that technology will become ubiquitous and service industry will get globalized. In my mind, it was a huge leap of faith. not only we did this leap of faith, we decided that we will do our business outside India and not in India. So we ignored India and went global on day one. Remember, in 1981, there was not even a laptop or a cell phone. There was no concept of a cell phone in 1981. Infosys did not have a computer till 1983. It took almost 3 years for us to get our own computer in India. As we grew, we took multiple risks. We won some of them, many we lost. We tried to get into hardware manufacturing and figured out that it was not our cup of tea and pulled out. About 8 years into our journey, in 1989, one of our founders decided to leave. So out of the 7, one of the founders decided to leave. We had to decide whether to continue or call it quits. We decided to continue and never regretted that decision. GE was one of our largest clients in 1997, 96. We had an issue with the contract negotiations and we pulled out of GE. This was a major decision which we took and it was a huge risk. In 2003, when the internet bubble burst, we predicted lower revenues, which surprised many in the industry. And that led to a 26% fall in share prices. Now, by the time I left Infosys in 2014, we had become a true multinational company with a net revenue of $8.5 billion, about 170,000 employees, providing consulting and technology services across the globe. Infosys has been credited as being first in many things. We were the first company to be listed in NASDAQ, first Indian company to have employee stock option plans, and the first Indian company to be certified CMM level 5. So all of this would not have been possible without taking the leap of faith and the risks on the way. Now when I look at my own life, personal life, I have always believed in doing what I believed was right, even if the path was less traveled. My parents, my father wanted to be a doctor. I started out to be a doctor, quickly realized that my heart was not in it. I took up physics, moved away from home for higher studies. I studied in multiple colleges. After graduation, I took up an employment outside the state in a field which was completely different than what I graduated in. I joined Bombay Electric Supply and Transport, a semi-private government organization. Later on, I gave up my secure government job and accommodation to join Patni Computers. Soon after, in 1981, I left a stable, well-paying job to be part of the Infosys journey, which was a major gamble. I stayed with Infosys in spite of ups and downs. I encountered and refused many tempting offers along the way. I moved multiple locations in and out of India. So the point is that you have to take risk and say yes to opportunities to realize your true potential. Taking calculated and thoughtful risk is a must to achieve your dreams. Now let me touch upon discipline. Discipline in business is a necessity in order to scale and to achieve consistent performance. A disciplined environment promotes appropriate behavior, efficiency and fairness, peaceful and most importantly, a safe working environment. When Infosys was in the growing stage, I'm talking about 80s, we had very good professionals who would ensure that projects are completed on time. We called it the hero projects. There were a number of heroes who will make sure that our projects are completed on time. But as it became bigger, it could not be done the same way. We needed discipline to do things consistently. We adopted ISO certification and CMM certification to becoming disciplined. We built systems and processes to ensure that every project is completed on time within budget. We published our quarterly results within 15 days. We decided that when in doubt, we will disclose to the market. We became leaders in corporate governance. We created performance through discipline. Performance created recognition, and recognition gave us respect. So the reason why I stand here today is the discipline which Infosys adopted, which created performance, recognition, and respect. Personally, I am known to be the most disciplined person in the office. I try to be on time every time. I have an extremely competent executive assistant who manages my calendar. I do not miss meetings and I do not make people wait. I write down things, what I need to do. Once I practiced all this, my managers followed suit and their reportees did the same. So truly the organization changed. So discipline is all about building priority and focus. And it's a must for individuals and organizations. Lastly, let me talk about learning. It is said that an organization's ability to learn and translate that learning into action rapidly is the ultimate competitive advantage. The success of an organization is determined by the ability of their talent to learn, unlearn, and relearn as business models and technology changes by the minute. Infosys learned a lot as it grew in size. Infosys learned to deliver services from India to customers abroad. We called it the global delivery model. We were the front runners in this idea. Infosys learned customer management, learned different technologies, learned distributed operations. We learned how to work with multiple cultures and diverse people speaking diverse languages, different languages. Even at a personal level, learning is the most important attribute which one can have. I was with Infosys for 33 years. My journey comprised of several different roles. Of course, I started out as a co-founder. I was an engineer. I moved into sales, later on management, and finally became the leader. Each of these roles required a different set of knowledge and different skills. I made enough mistakes on the way, took advice from many, got mentored by some of the most brilliant people I have met, and reinvented myself multiple times. While I was a technologist, knowledge, depth, and analytical skills were important. As a manager, attention to detail, planning, and people management skills were important. As a leader, what was most important is the ability to see the big picture, create a vision for the organization, raise the aspirations of people, and instill confidence. So on a personal level, I cannot imagine an investment which is more significant than continuous learning. So let me now conclude. One must take risks and take the road less traveled in order to achieve greater heights. You need to be disciplined and focused. Be on time every time. Do not stop learning. Make continuous learning a life mission. Do not limit yourself to one area. Go deep and go wide. Be curious, be hands-on, and compete constantly with oneself and be better version of yourself every single day. I wish you all the very best. Thank you again for giving me this opportunity to speak to all of you. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you did not do than the ones you did. So, explore, dream, and discover. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom, and we are truly honored and fortunate enough to have you with us today. Really appreciate your efforts. Next, we are moving on to the most awaited moment, which is the distribution of the certificates to our dearest students to acknowledge their talents. So now you will be receiving your certificates, a symbol of accomplishment. May I request Sri Shibulal to congratulate the graduates and to give away the certificates as well. And graduates, please do come forward as your name is being called, and please pay attention. You can come from your left side, get the certificates, and you can move out from the right side. I hope it's clear. So we can move on to the ceremony. I would like to invite Ms. Needu Kunchiria, Assistant Professor, Mangalam Management Studies, to assist in the distribution of the certificates.
Abdul Samad Shaji, Specializations, HR Finance. Abhiram Biju, Specializations, Finance Systems. Abhiya E.T., Specializations, HR Finance. Adit Jose, Specializations, Marketing Finance. Aishwarya Krishnan A, Specializations, Finance, HR. Akash Alexander, Specializations, Finance, Marketing. Akhila CV, Specializations, HR, Marketing. Akhila J, Specializations, HR, Marketing. Akhila Jain, Specializations, Finance, Marketing. Akhil George, Specializations, Marketing, Finance. Akhil Matthews, HR, Marketing. Albin Joseph, Finance, Marketing. Alina Tangichan, Specializations, Finance, HR. Alvin K. Jose, Marketing, Finance. Amal K. Manoj, Finance, Systems. Amal Sibi, Finance, Marketing. Amalu Rajendran, HR, Marketing. Aminu K. Jalil, HR, Finance. Amnu B, Finance, HR. Amrita Regimon, Specializations, HR, Marketing. Amrita S, HR, Finance. Anuka Sadish, Finance, HR. Anandakrishnan H, HR, Marketing. Anjali Anil Kumar, Finance, HR. Anjali KM, HR Marketing. Anjana VS, HR Marketing. Aparna Varghese, Finance HR. Arun Biju, Finance Marketing. Arun Dev, HR Finance. Arunima Vijayan, Specializations, Finance HR. Arun Tom, Specialization, Marketing, Finance. Ashish George, HR Marketing. Ashma Varghese, Finance HR. Atul R, Marketing Finance. Atulya Vinaya, HR Marketing. Binilamar Sabu, Finance HR. Betsy George, Finance Systems. Bolins Thomas, Finance Systems. Kamal Kurian, Specializations, Finance HR. Chirian Chako, Marketing Finance. Devanarayanan R, HR Finance. Devika Jesunil, HR Marketing. Devu Prasad, Finance HR. Divya Krishnan, Finance Marketing. Donna Maria Roy, Finance HR. Edwin James, Specializations, HR Finance. Fazil Anas, Marketing Finance. Ganga S. Anil, Finance Systems. Gokul Krishna Menon, Finance Marketing. Hari Krishnan TR, Finance Systems. Indu N, Finance Systems. Jason Cherian, Finance Systems. Jason Monsi, Finance HR. Jasmine John, Finance HR. Jasmine Sarah Jose, Marketing Finance. Jerin Tom, Marketing Finance. Jival Nicholas, Finance Marketing. Jinsi Moll, Specializations, Finance HR. Gino Varghese Abraham, Finance Marketing. Jidin Dev, Finance Marketing. Jobin Thomas, Marketing Finance. Kartiga A, HR Finance. Karthik PJ, Marketing Finance. Karun S. Kumar, Finance Marketing. K. Valentina Arisha, Finance HR. Kavya Ravi, Finance HR. Kirtana Saju, Marketing Finance. KJ Radhika, Finance HR. Krishna Prakash, Marketing Finance. Krishna Priya M, Finance Systems. Krishna is Babu, Finance Marketing. Christian Susan Kaushi, HR Marketing. Kriba Maria Kushi, specializations HR Marketing. Ligimol Joy, Finance HR. Mahima S, HR Marketing. Matthews George, Finance Marketing. Neenu Jidas, HR Marketing. Mithun Manohar, Finance Marketing. Maitri B, Finance HR. Nandu VA, Finance HR. Nayana AT, HR Marketing. Nitish Bini, Finance HR. Nitin Narayanan, Finance Systems. Parvati Vinath, HR Marketing. Paul V. Kora, Marketing Finance. Prajesh Prakash, HR Marketing. Rajalakshmi R, HR Marketing. Ravina CR, HR Marketing. Reenamol Abraham, HR Marketing. Richu Abraham Isho, Finance Marketing. Rosmi PC, Finance Marketing. Sachin Sudham, Finance Marketing. Sergio C. Alexander, Finance Marketing. Salma Sawat, HR Finance. Sandra T. Surendran, Finance Systems. Sanub Sajimon, HR Marketing. Sanu Suresh, Finance HR. Sara Rashid, HR Marketing. Sariga Prem Kumar, Finance HR. Sari, Specializations, Finance HR. Sheffield Tom Shaji, Finance HR. Shibin Shaji Philip, Finance Systems. Sitara K. Joseph, Finance HR. Sonu Verghese Matthew, HR Marketing. Srijit PS, HR Marketing. Sri Lakshmi P, Finance Marketing. Sri Lakshmi R, HR Marketing. Srudimol Shaji, Specializations, Finance HR. Tia Thomas, HR Finance. Tom Joe Grayson, Marketing Finance. Tony Chaco, Finance Marketing. Vineet Bini, Marketing Finance. Vishnu PS, HR Marketing. Vishnu S, Finance Systems. Finally, Vrinda PR, Specialization, HR Marketing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your assistance. A certificate not only delivers the message of gratitude. I do request everyone to please remain silent. A certificate not only delivers the message of gratitude, but it gives the recipient a tangible moment that will help them push themselves harder down the road. It's time to honor our students who excelled in academics. We have a total of 3 awards as usual. And as I call out your names, please do come forward and collect your awards. So the first one would be the award for Mangalam Fellow of Academic Excellence, which is given for the highest score in university exam. So this year, the award, Best Academic Excellence, goes to Miss Sariga Prem Kumar. Please do come forward and collect your certificate. Congrats, Ms. Sariga. Next one would be the awards for the best outgoing students, both men and women. In the men's category, the best outgoing student award goes to Mr. Midun Manohar. Please do come forward and receive your award. Congrats, Mr. Mithun. And from the women's category, the best outgoing student award goes to Ms. Genga S. Anil. Thank you so much. The guests can now take their seats. Light, in a way, symbolizes prosperity. It removes the force of darkness and gives in positivity. Light means life, which gives you directions in life. With this thought, I would like to invite Sri Shibulal sir to light the candle and pass it over to Professor John T. Vargas, who will be passing on to the rest of the faculty and the batch. Let me take this opportunity to invite Professor Dr. John T. Varghese, Dean of Mangalam Management Studies, to administer the oath to the graduates. And graduates, please do rise and repeat the oath as it's being told.
Dear students, I am going to administer the oath. Please repeat. I, passing out from Mangalam Management Studies, do solemnly affirm and take oath that I will endeavor to be scrupulously honest in the discharge of my duties as an administrator in whatever the field I work. I will act with utmost integrity and pursue with my work in an ethical manner in order to safeguard the interest of my co-workers, customers, and the society in which I work. I shall uphold the dignity, the integrity of my profession. I will also manage my enterprise in good faith. I will be responsible for all my actions. And being a professional, I will promote the unity, integrity, and secular values of my country. I further solemnly state that I shall be a resourceful administrator in all my deeds and thoughts for the uplift of my society and professional life. I will strive to uphold great ideals and principles to protect the interest of my country and the world at large.
Thank you. All the graduates can now take their seats. And congratulations to everyone. Finally, as a mark of respect and appreciation for the time and effort Sri Shibulal has put in, we would love to offer a small token of appreciation and love to our Honorable Chief Guest. May I request Dr. Biju Varghese to hand over the memento. Thank you so much, sir, for taking the time and effort for being with us. Your presence has been valuable to us today, and we certainly look forward to another interaction in the future. Really do appreciate your time. I would like to invite our Senior Faculty of Management Studies and Chief Coordinator of the event, Professor Dr. Sibi James, a very enthusiastic individual whose support and encouragement is truly remarkable. I welcome you, sir, to deliver the word of thanks.
The sun that rises has to set. Flowers that bloom have to grow. Likewise, the program that began has to end. With a positive note of many more programs that we will celebrate together ahead, let's end the program with a vote of thanks, appreciation, and gratitude to those who made this event a grand success. Thank you is not just a word. It is more than an emotion. Friends and family of the graduating class of 2022, dear freshly minted alumni, respected dignitaries on and off the dais, teachers, student community, and all other well-wishers of Mangalam Management Studies, good afternoon to one and all. First of all, On behalf of Mangalam Management Studies, I would like to profusely thank Sri S.D. Shibulal, co-founder and former CEO of Infosys, for being the guest of honor and inspiration in conceptualizing and designing this convocation ceremony. You have been an eminent technocrat, globally renowned industrialist, as well as a prolific administrator of high reputation and professional achievement. Your inspiring speech, reflecting an enviable combination of experience and wisdom, will stay with the new graduates and the rest of us for a long time. Sir, your response to our invitation gives us a good measure of your interest in our work and your goodwill for the Institute and its programs. Your participation in this function reinforces our confidence and hope regarding the services we are expected to provide to the larger society. Thank you very much, dear Shibulal sir, for all the trouble you have taken by accepting our invitation. Thank you, sir. Dear graduating class of 2022, as I look at you, our beloved 16th batch, I feel tremendous pride. You are bright, energetic, and enthusiastic. You will have tremendous influence for good on those around you. Today is a day of revelation, yes, the revealing of your hard work to the world. A big congratulations to my fellow graduates for this momentous achievement. Your hard work is evident today. It is often said that gratitude is the attitude that takes you to your altitude. I take this opportunity to thank all of you for the help you have rendered to us over the years. Life is short, but the most beautiful phenomenon because you make your destiny and you define your life. Education is about growth, not just about grades. You have adapted and grown in this difficult time, which has undoubtedly enriched you and added to your academic success. Congratulations and a big thank you to our beloved 16th batch. We are grateful to the families of the graduating students who, through example and hard work, encouragement and sacrifice, motivated the graduates to join Mangalam Management Studies and then supported them through their journey here. Thanking all the parents and their relatives who came here to watch their wards graduating. Thank you. It's my privilege to thank Dr. Biju Vagisa, Chairman, Mangalam Education Institutions, and the source of inspiration to all of us, for having kindly agreed to deliver the welcome speech. I must say that his incredible leadership, timely and proper advice, and the freedom in decision-making provided to us by our beloved chairman has been indispensable for us to work on this ceremony. Today, my words are not enough to express the gratitude to you, sir, for gracing us. Your constant help and guidance that radiated a source of energy within us. We will ever remain grateful to you, and we thank you for being with us today. Thank you, Biju sir. In his absence, I also thank our respected legal advisor, Advocate Dr. Abraham Chettiseri, sir, for having made it convenient to be with us and to guide us. We greatly value his contribution in all our endeavors and express our profound thanks to him for sharing his views with us on a topic of such contemporary relevance. An integral part of our fraternity, Advocate sir is instrumental in helping us to make Mangalam campus to new heights. We will continue to look towards him for guidance and further inspiration. Thank you for being the catalyst of change for so many of us. Thank you, Abraham sir. An event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling months in advance. We have been fortunate enough to have our beloved Dean, Professor John T. Verghese. The success of an institution depends on its torchbearer. Nation develops on the strength of education, and as an educationist, you have touched and changed the lives of generations of students. Thanks for being the resolute and responsive to the challenges we face, and for the unflinching support in our effort. John sir was there to support us in all possible manners to shape this convocation ceremony. Thank you, John sir. We are delighted to have amongst us our beloved Chief Operating Officer of Mangalam, Sri Prakash Thomas Matthew sir. His presence has been a source of guidance and inspiration for all of us. The one who selflessly gave his blood and sweat in order to conceive all our programs. Words are not enough to thank Prakasa, constant guidance and support to shape this commencement ceremony. Thank you, Prakasa. Dr. Sibusi Chitran, Professor and Head, Mangalam Management Studies, is always with us on all the endeavors of the Institute. The department is thankful to him for all the support and cooperation rendered towards his convocation ceremony. Sir, you went beyond your comfort zone for making this. We admire your effort in making this ceremony a grand success. With a deep sense of appreciation, we thank you for your untiring efforts. Thank you, Sibusa. MMS is proud to have an energizing, dynamic array of faculty members. Dr. Arvind Rao, Senior Professor and Director Corporate Relations, Mr. Bostom, Ms. Tinda Baby, Ms. Reshma Ravindranath, Ms. Demi Devasi, Dr. Prima Ann George, Ms. Rinda George, Mr. Jitin John, Ms. Needu Kunjaria, Ms. Pia James, Mr. Jeffy James, Ms. Srilashmi P.S. and Ms. Srilashmi Srikumar. The mind is not a vessel that needs filling, but wood that needs lighting. A teacher resembles a mentor and serves as an excellent role model for students. Every word spoken by the teacher is embraced by the students. Our teachers are excellent and selfless people who accept each student without prejudice. I would like to express my gratitude to all the teachers who helped shaping and molding this 16th batch in their journey. A big thanks to all the members in our teaching fraternity. I would like to place on record our deep sense of gratitude to Mr. Salim Karnagaran, Fellow of Chartered Accountants, former CFO Mangalam Publication, and Sir guided us in bringing Sri S.D. Shibulal and Sri Chris Gopalakrishnan to Mangalam campus. Sir is all with us. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Salim, sir. A special word of appreciation to Mr. Danny, Mangalam College of Education, for being the host of today's function. Your effort and anchoring are adding up to the success of this program. We are also thankful to Ms. Krishnendu, Mangalam College of Education, who led us with the rendition of a beautiful prayer song. Thank you, Danny and Krishnendu. Our beloved junior batch students are here as volunteers. Your dedications and loyalty towards Mangalam campus will always be remembered. Thanks to one and all present here as student volunteers. Thank you, beloved 17th batch and 18th batch students. Extremely thankful to Mr. Sai Chandran, who is providing us all the promotional programs and technical support for this commencement ceremony. Thank you, Sai. We are thankful to Reverend Father, managers, and the entire staff of Casa Maria Center for giving us this venue for this program. Heartfelt thanks to all the responsible officials of Casa Maria. Thank you. We are thankful to all the staff from Media Mangalam, Radio Mangalam, HR department of our college, Mr. Vipin, Chief Photographer, Mangalam Publications, Mr. Martin, non-teaching staff, security staff, and the general public who are supporting us throughout this time. Thank you to you all. Once again, on behalf of Mangalam Management Studies and on behalf of college, wishing you all the best, my dear 16th batch, all the best.
Go ahead.
The students, you can introduce yourself to the audience, then you can start asking questions.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Devanarayan, and I am also from Alapura.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Donna Maria Roy. I am from Kollam.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Mithun Manohar. I am from Patanapuram.
Sir, I would like to ask you a question. Sir, according to you, how is the current higher education system in Kerala compared to other states? And is there any measures to improve it?
So, so if you look at education in India, so India is I always say this, India is a country of contradictions. It is a country of contradictions. We produce 1 million engineers every year. But if you look at the recent McKinsey study or one of the McKinsey studies or any other study, you will notice that only 25 to 30% of these 1 million people who graduate every year is ready for employment. Right? So over the years, we have done a lot of work in increasing the quantity of education. We have opened, we have made basic education compulsory. If you look at the new national education policy, foundation learning has become compulsory. There is a Right to Education Act. So what we have done effectively is to increase the quality of education, the quantity of education. So we produce 1 million engineers every year. But when you look at the quality of education, there is a long way to go. Right? There is a long way to go, because that is why out of the 1 million people who graduate every year, you can only employ 250,000 people. Now, this happens to any system. When you try to optimize both quantity and quality, one will take precedence and move ahead. So now you have to work on the quality of education. Now, quality of education happens in multiple levels. Number one, you need good leadership, you need good institutions, you need good teachers, right? And you need major industry connect for education institutions. So I don't see this as a Kerala problem. I see this as more of a universal problem, right? And my work is mostly not in college education, it's in primary education, but it is true everywhere. While we have done a very good job of increasing the quantity of education, we have a long way to go in the quality of education. And it is not something any one constituent can solve. It is not like a government problem or a student problem or a institution problem. It is a problem which has to be addressed across. So you need, then another issue with our higher education is that we have delinked, we have clearly delinked teaching and research as two different activities. If you look at any developed country where education is, quality of education is superior, I wouldn't say quantity, quality of education is superior, they have joined teaching and research in the hip. So it is one institution which is doing teaching, same institution is doing research. Whereas we have completely delinked this. I think because we needed scale, that's why we got delinked. So whatever is the history, so it is time we increase the quality of education. There are many ways to do it. You need excellent teachers. You need to combine research and teaching into the same institution, which means that the teachers need bandwidth to do teaching and research. From a student's perspective, I think learning should not be limited to universities. Right? You have been here for 2 years. Whatever you have studied is obsolete by the time you walk out of the door. And even if you were here for 2 years and you have studied everything which the university taught, it's not enough. So, from a student's perspective, you really need to broaden your horizon. You need to make learning a lifelong process. And it is not about, I wouldn't say you should not, as I said, you should not narrow it down to your field. You need to have a very broad sense of learning. So every one of the participants, of course the government has a part to play, the institution has a part to play, the teachers have the part to play, and the student has a part to play. So I think everyone needs to think about their role and go forward.
So actually you are a...
By the way, remember, I am a product of this system, right? So it is not a bad system.
So my question is that you are actually a very great influencer, and at the same time you are a very influencer. My question is that what all things that you have great ideas like for the new generations?
What is your?
Is there having any new innovative ideas for the new generations?
New innovative ideas for the new generation. I think that should be the new generation which should create the innovative ideas. But okay, so I think the world has changed. After I started working, right? So as I said, when I started working many years back, there was no concept of innovation or entrepreneurship. Most people went into a government job, which was 9 to 5, retire at 60. There was no performance approach. Nobody considered performance as an important issue. So the world has changed. Today, the world has become much more richer in terms of opportunities. You have campus recruitment, you have capital for entrepreneurship, you have a regulatory system which is very supportive. So things have changed quite a lot. So when the younger generation make choices, their challenges are different. So when I made a choice to get employed, I went to look for a job. My biggest challenge was to find a job. I had to find a job. That was it. For you, the challenge is to choose a job, because you will have multiple opportunities. You have to choose the right one. That is going to be your biggest challenge. So when the younger generation looks at their future, they have to make the right choices. And they have to follow the passion. In my world, in my generation, there was no question of following the passion. Whatever you get, you take. But in your world, you have the ability to follow the passion. So you should try and follow your passion. You should make the right choices. Entrepreneurship is a great opportunity today. It's not an easy path, but it's a great opportunity today. Capital is available. People who have done it before are available. The ideas. So please remember, India is a technology giant. I think most of us don't realize this. That is my view. So when I was traveling the world, people would ask me, you think India is a technology giant? I would say yes. He said, why didn't India create a Microsoft or Google? That is the question, and I had no answer, really. But today, we have created UPI, we have created CoWIN, we have created Diksha, we have created Aadhaar. We have created technology which works for 1 billion people. That is what we need. Right? We need to build technology which works for 1 billion people, and I think we are doing it. We did 2 billion vaccines. No country has done it. And we have done it technology based. Most other countries are still dealing with paper. So I think we have enormous potential. So it is for us to capitalize, make the right choices, and take a path which is new.
Sir, at the beginning of your speech, you shared some details regarding the building up of Infosys. And you started the business with a capital of only 10,000 Indian rupee. And it's a time where the situation and the conditions are not favorable for technology companies in India. At that time, what made you to build such a big company and taking risk regarding that?
So please remember, Infosys today is 40 years old, 81, now 41 years. So it took a long time. It is not that we built it overnight. Infosys reached $1 billion in revenue after 23 years. It took 23 years to reach the $1 billion. So everybody has forgotten this. Everybody has seen the last 5 years or 10 years. Some of you are not even born when Infosys started, right? So you are looking at the last 5 or 10 years and thinking that that was the journey. That was not the journey. The first 20 years or so was very difficult, right? And the growth was very slow. So it is not like we built a large company or anything. It was actually quite slow. So entrepreneurship and building a large organization is a marathon. See, there are some people today who do it in a short period of time, but if you look at many organizations, they have been built over a long period of time. So you have to be ready to run that marathon. It's very important. Now, in our case, there was some commonality of thought within the founders. We all came from middle class. There was nobody who was rich, nobody who was politically connected. All we had was, our mind and heart. That was all we had. We had nothing else. We had no money, no connection, no influence. So there was a commonality between 7 of us. Mr. Murthy was older to us. He was 10 years, about 8 years older to me. So that gave us, he was able to create stability because he was older. We all listened to him, right? And if we fight with each other, he would come in and say, stop. And we would listen. So there was a great leader. Mr. Murthy was there. He was a great mentor. There was a commonality of thought, right? We all believed in the same thing. And we wanted to run the marathon. So once that came together, right? Once that came together, the commonality of thought, the ability to run the marathon, a great leader, then we were able to run that for 23 years. Once the company reached $1 billion, then everyone said, oh, you achieved it. So then everyone will want to stay. But until that time, there are so many hurdles. So these are the reasons. And we took a leap of faith, a risk, right, which others were not willing to take. So we took the risk. We took a leap of faith. We stayed together. We ran the marathon. And we had a leader. We were lucky. Finally, please remember, apart from everything which you read in the newspaper, everything which I talked about here today, all the answers I gave you, there is one thing which you need. That is luck and God's grace. Without that, nothing can be achieved. So all this, now GAN I gave you, plus all the answers I gave you, finally there is one word which I want to say, which is God's grace. So we had it, all said and done. To some extent, I think I always say this, I didn't say it today, we invited it. We were honest, we were transparent, we were respectful, we were, we had good value system. So, in a sense, the luck favored us. Not in a sense, it favored us big time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. If you are finished with your questions, you can join the audience. Let's give them a loud hand of applause.
Good evening to all of you. Before I start, I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank Mr. Biju Varghese and Mr. Salim Karnagaran for this wonderful opportunity. Now, two sentences before I start. One, Mr. Shibulan and myself, we both belong to the same place of Alapi, and probably this is the first time that I'm seeing him physically. Okay, so I think it takes time, it takes destinies to meet someone. In fact, when he had just quit or stepped down as the CEO of Infosys, I had written to him, and I later came to know that, the letter was not delivered because he had quit as the Infosys CEO. Before we started off, I had a small chat with him, and he said, in most convocations across the world, there is a lot of fun element, and it's a fact. If you see the convocation ceremonies of most of these things, there is this traditional system of throwing the hat, so on and so forth, and I think a bit of leisure and a bit of humor will have to be involved. So that is one of the reasons why most of my questions will not be centered on the academic part or something else, but certain things which are there for all of us to read in the net, things which not many of us are familiar with. So probably he is the one who has to say whether it is right or wrong. 41 years after co-founding Infosys, now when you sit on a chair like this, what is it that goes through your mind? Is there a single day on which you have not uttered the word Infosys?
So, I think the word, when I think of Infosys, the first thing which comes to my mind is luck. Honestly, luck. Because in 81, when we started our journey with Infosys, there were many other people who tried to do this. Entrepreneurship was not very common, but there were other people trying to do it. There are many people who were trying to do it. And when I look back, we were the only one who were lucky enough to survive. So when I think of Infosys, of course, you are very proud of what Infosys has achieved. I have achieved, all that is fine. But the one word which I always keep in mind is luck and gratefulness. See, Infosys was not built by 7 people. It was built by thousands of people like this. We used to go to colleges, recruit these young people, bring them into the campus, tell them that, this is your company, you please work hard, 7/24, months after months. So thousands of people have put their sweat and blood to build this organization. So I think the things which come to my mind is luck and gratefulness. And and of course I'm very proud of what Infosys has achieved, but this is what I always keep in mind. That's why even today, I get visitors from Infosys quite often. Because I ran the whole organization, so you are talking about, when I left, Infosys had 170,000 people. And 170,000 people have left, right? Because people had joined and left. So because people will join and leave, right? So you are talking about 400,000 people who have actually worked with you, right? Not 1 or 2 people. 170,000 worked with you the day you left. But 170,000 people have worked with you before. So you're talking about 400,000 people. And somebody will write to you saying that they want to come and say hello to you, and I will always meet them because this is the reason. I am a very, as I said, I'm a very disciplined person. So my involvement in Infosys stopped the day I left, other than being a shareholder and other activities. So after that, of course you think about Infosys, but the involvement is 0 or almost nil. So you move on to other things in life, right? I have many other things in life. So I'm a very disciplined person. So I focus on what I need to do today, much more than what I did in the past.
Wonderful. Now I think one privilege, or rather one moment of happiness for this particular batch is to understand the enormity of the person sitting in front of you. Now, if you go to the internet and type his name, there will be thousands of things that you can read about. Probably he's he's in the Forbes list. I mean, he's in Bloomberg. He's almost into everything that the world of business can talk about. And one of the main things that differentiates people like him from many others in this country is that the whole team at Infosys is extremely down to earth and humble. That is what I would like to quote as an example. Not in terms of size, absolutely sorry. Now, how do you assess the way technology has changed over the last maybe 2 decades? Because earlier, when you talked of technology, it was purely related to building software or coding or whatever. Now, how do you think that has changed over the last 2 decades?
So, there are multiple ways to look at this, multiple ways to answer this question. So, I will do it one way. There are many ways to look at it, but I will do it, looking back at my life, it has changed. So, when I joined Bombay Electric Supply and Transport, I joined a department called Electronic Data Processing. That was a department called Electronic Data Processing. So, in 80s, when we talked about computer and technology and all that, it was about data. How do you process large amount of data? That was the whole thing. You have to process large amount of data, so you created this department called Electronic Data Processing, and that's what happened. Then came 90s, wherever I went, any company I met as a customer, they will talk about information technology. So we moved from data to information. So we became, what can we collect from the data? What is the output we can get from the, what information you can create from the data? So it shifted. Then came the world of insights. So when you do Amazon, when you go to Amazon and buy a book, they will tell you, your friend bought another book, so please buy this. So it is all insights. So you have moved from data to information to insight over the last 30, 35 years. And in the last 5 years, you are moving into intelligence. Right? You have autonomous driving cars. So I drive a car when I go to US. If I'm making a mistake, the car will prevent you from making a mistake. It is not like it's going to tell you, it is going to prevent you based on what the setting you have done. So you are slowly moving, you are moved from data to information to insight into intelligence. So when I look at technology for the next 20 years or so, 30 years, I think that the prevalence of intelligence will keep increasing. So especially in areas like automotives, areas like manufacturing, areas like healthcare, for example. Healthcare is a very, very good place where if you can increase the prevalence of intelligence. For example, we have very few doctors. So if you can actually augment their decision-making capability by building intelligence in the system, it will be phenomenal. Education, for example, we do online education, but we can do so many other things. You can really customize, personalize education using intelligence. So I think more than technology, the purpose of technology is what I talked about. We moved from data to information to insight to intelligence. I think that journey will continue for the next 2 decades.
Absolutely. Now, there was a mention about Mr. Shiblal being a technology freak or a gadget buff. Now, I heard that at some point of time, you had combined 2 devices together so that your daughter in US could view a serial at home here in India. Can you tell me something about that, please?
No, but please remember, that was when YouTube and all that was not there. Technology, the purpose of doing some of these things. I am a person who believes in, so you listen to my answer, right? I did not really answer about technology. I answered about the purpose of technology, right?
Yeah.
So similarly, when I look at technology, I usually look at how can I use it for a purpose. So my daughter was actually, daughter got educated there and she came back to India. So children, right, so what they miss is TV and things like that. That's their favorite thing. And so I wanted to make sure that she didn't miss it. So I don't know, these youngsters will not remember this. There was a product called TiVo, I think. It was called TiVo and I think these products have disappeared. You can combine some of these products. So I think it's more of a hobby where I can combine technologies and create something which will meet a purpose. I still can do it. And for fun, I will still do it. But it is about combining various technologies and creating something which is purposeful to my life.
Well, I've also read somewhere that at least once a week, I don't know, this is something that I have to hear from you. Yourself and Mr. Gopalakrishnan, both of you buy gadgets, dismantle them and try to reassemble them.
Yeah, so we do buy gadgets. Not once a week, but we do buy gadgets. Okay. We are known for having all the gadgets. It's more of a learning experience, right? Because these are things from which you can learn, you can understand, you can use it. Again, Chris and me, I use a lot of that knowledge for purpose. So how do you define new networks or new security protocol or new... I'm still, both of us are still very technology oriented. So it is that curiosity I talked about. We are just curious. Right? That's what it finally comes down to simple curiosity. So Chris actually called me up. I think he sent me a message a couple of days back saying that this Samsung has come out with this flip. Flip. So I have the version 1. So he told me he's going to buy the version 2. So there's a little bit of competition, right? So I have the version 1. So he's in Malaysia or something. He said, I'm getting version 2. So it is more curiosity how they have made it work. Because it's a foldable screen, right? When you open it, you can't make out. So how did they create the foldable screen? So it's all about curiosity.
I've also read that you made a siren in school so that nobody could enter your room and it would send out a buzzer.
That was when I was a kid. Right? This is what it is about. Now this is many years back because my master's is in electronics. But probably I got interested in electronics when I was very young. Again, these children won't remember, but there was a magazine called Science Today.
Yes.
Many years back.
Absolutely.
And anybody who is interested in science will stand in the queue and buy this magazine. So I used to do the same thing, take it home, and usually every month, there is only once a month, they will have a circuit which you can make. You can buy some parts and try to make it. So I used to try and do that. But all that is again, it all goes back to the sense of exploration and curiosity. So it's same thing, curiosity.
Okay, now I was once told by a student doing a CA articleship that if you want to learn something from the point of view of books of accounts, you have to look at an Infosys balance sheet. So has transparency been a core right from day one of forming the company?
Yeah. So Infosys believed in, so actually corporate governance, transparency, fairness, stakeholder equity, disclosure. Infosys, so please remember, we were a very small company. We were some $100 million of revenue. So when you're a $100 million revenue, really speaking, you are nobody. Right? Because you can't go to Europe and US and say, okay, we are from Infosys, we are $100 million, they are $10 billion, so you are some 1,000 times smaller. So we used corporate governance as a competitive advantage. Literally. So we said we will be the most transparent, we will have the highest level of disclosure, we will be honest, we will be fair, we will be merit-based, and we will have the highest levels of corporate governance. So in that, nobody could compete with us.
Absolutely.
Right? And when they look at an underdeveloped country, which we were in 80s, they were quite surprised that there is a company here which says that they are the highest levels of corporate governance. They are willing to compete with you, that is the $10 billion corporation, on the level on corporate governance. So it created a lot of respect. So I don't think that was the reason we did it. We wanted to be transparent, honest, fair and merit-based, but it eventually even became a competitive advantage. And so we were very transparent. We used to publish our balance sheet in 9 different languages. We used to publish it under Indian GAAP, US GAAP, and the European standard. We used to have our results out by 15th of the quarter. That means 15 days. We used to have a set schedule for publishing balance sheet. We had won 10 years in a row the best balance sheet award. Finally, they said, we will give you a lifetime achievement award and so we can give it to somebody else. So we always kept very high levels of transparency.
What is your take on the present startup culture? One is, do you think it is more about a game of valuations or do you think that there is something that the present generation is genuinely interested in as far as solving problems is concerned?
So I think both are equally important in today's world. See, in the Infosys world, valuation was not that important in the beginning at least, because we were not public, we have no investor. In today's world, you have to do both. You have to perform, you have to, and the performance will lead to valuation. The problem starts when valuation is created without performance. So I think the good entrepreneurs do understand that they need to create performance-led valuation. So we invest, Axelor invests in in various companies. So we tell them, we will monitor you on performance, not on valuation. Valuation will happen, but that is an effect. The cause has to be the performance.
Absolutely.
So we track their performance. So I think the intelligent entrepreneurs do understand that valuation without performance is hollow, it cannot sustain. Performance-led valuation is long-term and sustainable.
But in the quest for valuation, do you think something gets compromised?
In any case, in any journey, life is a set of compromises. But so I don't want to be very critical about it.
Fine.
The point is that the better entrepreneurs do understand the value of value system also, that they need to be honest and transparent in their performance so that the valuation can sustain. See, you have so many examples where things have failed. So the intelligent, good entrepreneurs and the good mentors, more than the young entrepreneurs, the good mentors do know that if you make compromises, there is a price to pay. So they guide them through the journey. The good ones do guide them through the journey. So I wouldn't say it's always a straight line, but the good ones take the straight line.
Okay. Now, one last question, or possibly the second last one before we wind up. There is a lot of activity happening from all the past founders of Infosys or the founders of Infosys in terms of giving back to the society, in terms of forming foundations or trusts. Now, could you tell us something about the Sarojini Damodar Foundation and the other things that you do in terms of education?
So, we started our foundation in 99. So it's about 23 years are over now. So we started our foundation in 99. Me and my wife, we are both products of the Kerala education system. And we did what we did in our life because of the higher education we got. Yes, every education is important, primary education, kindergarten, everything is important. But if you look at our life, higher education is what allowed us to get here. So we wanted to do something in higher education in 99. So we started, we had this idea. I have a very close friend in Alapi, Ramanand. He was the vice principal of SD College.
Yes.
So we were, three of us were brainstorming, and we came to this idea that we will start a small scholarship. So we went to TD school. I think somebody told me their family house is opposite TD school.
I told you.
You did. So we went to TD school, that's where I studied, and we said, give us 2 children and we will give them a scholarship after 10th. So we got 2 children. We started a scholarship in 99. So the next year, the 2 became 10, then it became 100. So over the years, the numbers went up. Today, we operate in 14 states. We get 60,000 applications for 1,500 seats. We get them after 10th. We take them and then they stay with us for 7 years. We have hundreds of doctors, engineers. The total number of children in the scholarship right now is 5,000, 4,900 something. We will add another 1,500 now, so it will go to 6,500 this year. And we have come a long way. So 14 states, 60,000 applications, test, interview, selection, and 7-year program. We also have partners. who will come in and sponsor. So that also has happened. So in Kerala, we have one of the best partners in UST Global.
Okay.
They are one of our wonderful partners who support a lot of children on the platform. As a family, we do support a large number of children, but they also support. So we are wonderful partners. So that program is scaling, and that will scale. So that is one major activity of the foundation. Another one which we have is the Shiksha Lokam, which you talked about, because I wanted to do something for systemic change in education. And one of the big issues in school education in K-12 is leadership. So we have a leadership development platform for K-12 leaders, government school leaders, not private school leaders, government school leaders, and government and semi-private school leaders. So that has been in operation for last 5 years. And we have about 3 lakh leaders on the platform. We mostly operate in North. So Punjab is a big state, Bihar is a big state. So one of the concepts we came up with is what we call micro improvements. Because most government schools can't go in and say we will overnight change everything. It is not possible. Correct. So we wanted them to focus on small things. So we came up with this idea of micro improvements. So I just saw they sent me something saying that in the independent, I think in the last 2-3 days, government has announced something called Vidya Amarth. Vidya Amarth. Okay. I think this is linked to that. That is also micro improvements. We have actually, so our entire Shiksha Lokam platform is available as part of Diksha. So I think part of that, it has been now nationalized.
Do your children seek your support as far as business is concerned?
Yeah, they do. They do.
They do that. So I wish, I could ask more questions, but because of paucity of time, I think we'll wind up here. So request you all to give a big round of applause to Mr. Shibulal for the way in which he has answered the questions. Thank you all once again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manoj, for he leaves the auditorium. Now, we just wanted to put something out there without taking much of your time, is the fact that India celebrated its 75th independence this year. And being the largest democracy in the world, being an emerging global scientific and technological superpower, and many more, there's so much to being an Indian that one can never be proud enough. So let's take a moment to remember the brave souls who fought and sacrificed their lives so that we would enjoy the freedom we have today. So let's have a moment of silence in remembrance of the brave souls. We'll have the national anthem now.
Janagan